The mission behind cult creators is to get paid every day to do what you love with the people you like. And so what we've known from all these communities is there's really three things to focus on. Get members, engage them long enough to get results that gives you marketable proof, and retention. So attract, engage, retain. But within that, then we've come to realize there's really three B's that are important for each of these, right? And so I'm going to break those down. On the attraction side, because that's what people seem to care about most, is more and more and more and more. And the whole cult creator model is to get that cult-like loyalty so that you get more per member rather than having to continuously chase members. Because we've done that. We had a decade in digital marketing as an agency, and that forever chasing new clients is so frustrating. But if you can be more attractive, right, then you don't have to work so hard at attracting. And so the first B, right, there's three B's that we focus on to do this. The first B is buy-in. Most people, and this was us in the whole agency side of things, is trying to get buyers, right? Always try to convert cold traffic, warm them up, move them through the funnels, lead magnets, nurture campaigns. No, we went the fuck funnels route about a year ago. We dropped ClickFunnels. We are just on Skool, and we end up making more money than we ever have because of this B, right? Buy-in. We're just looking for buy-in. And so just like any good cult, just like any good cult leader, just like any good piece of propaganda, politician, campaign, anything, it really comes down to getting buy-in before you try and get action. So that is aligning on things like values. Humans bond with other humans based on shared values. Then one step below that is a shared belief system, right? Look at every religion that's ever existed. There's a shared belief system. There's like a book that says, this is who we are, this is what we believe, this is the vision of the future. And so that's how we get buy-in, right? On the front end, we're just trying to get buy-in via shared values, shared beliefs, hot takes. This is what we do, right? Create that us versus them that says, this is our line in the sand, this is who we are, and this is who the status quo is, and that's not who we are, right? So the first way to get buy-in is to really figure out who you are. And then there's actually 7 pieces to our framework. So that buy-in piece is 7 pieces within this frame of orientation, right? And so if you can understand how to create a mission out of it, right? Most people have a membership-based offer. And so they're just, again, trying to look for buyers. Like, here's the value stack of all the things you're going to get. But when you're trying to get buy-in, you're really just trying to get emotion, right? You're just trying to get them bought into something. So if you can figure out what that something is, and that's why we just lead with step 1 of cult creator model is 9 pieces. Step 1 is figure out your mission. Because if you can create a mission out of your message, then it's so much easier to get buy-in. So for us, it's get paid every day, right? You're already doing coaching and all these other things, but the goal is to get paid every day. Eventually, it's get paid more every day, but that feeling of getting paid every single day is that magic, right? Like, freedom is our highest core value. I live right on the beach. I don't want to work all day. And so we want that freedom, fun, and fulfillment. And so we can only do that if we're getting paid every day to help people at scale. And that's why we love the community models, because you can help people at scale. Whereas before it was just only one-on-one, follow this system. Now the system is walk it through yourself. We have that mission. And so the first thing that we do, step 1 of the cult creator model, step 1 to get buy-in, is what is that mission? What are you trying to rally people on, right? How do we create emotion so that people actually get bought into what you're doing? And then from there, it's create the offer, right? So the mission in our model, it gives you the 7 pieces that become Lego blocks for your offer. So this is what we're doing here, right? This is where we're going, the vision of the future. This is how we're going to get there. Once we have those pieces, we have our mission. And then we can turn that into an about page, a sales page that gets people bought in, right? And that's actually how you create buyers. Once you have the buy-in, once you have that mission, right? And so then it's just about creating propaganda, content at scale that gets buy-in, right? And so just keep pumping out pieces that align with the right audience. So knowing who that audience is, knowing what they want, knowing what pain points they have, knowing where there are, like what part of the mission they're even on. Are they just getting started? Are they quite advanced? All of this is super important to rally the right people on the right mission. And so once we have buy-in, then we move into part 2, right? So that engagement pillar is all about creating behavior. We are trying to manipulate human behavior at scale. That is what cult creators do, because human behavior is so fickle and so fleeting. That's why course creation completion rates are like 3%, right? Nobody actually does anything long enough. And that's why we have to do so many things to override human behavior, because they are just going to get lazy, or they're going to get stuck, or they're going to forget because life is busy, and they're going to fall off. And then you don't get the result. You don't get the testimonial. You don't get proof. You don't get paid as often. They don't get the result. Then they're going to, see that you didn't get them that result. Bad news. And so we have to manipulate human behavior long enough to get them through this commitment curve, right? Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until you've hit that result. And so that is the behavior change, and that's what we're doing consistently over and over again, right? Every week we should be looking for these things. Every day it's baked into the model of how we can override their shitty human behavior and get them back on track. Always trying to get them back on track. Then once we have the behavior, right? Once we have the classroom set up so that the rituals are going, then the third B in the retention pillar is all about belonging. And this is the key to creating the best experience that you possibly can. The thing that will get people paying is not the content. They'll want the result, but there's so many ways to get the result. But if you can create belonging, if you can get buy-in with the right specific group of people so that when they join, they already feel like they're home, right? This is where they belong. And then the behavior gets them doing the same things as other like-minded people, then we just have to ramp up the belonging. So we already have a like-minded group of people on the same mission together. Check, check. Then it's just about doing certain things over and over again. So there's 3 S's to that pillar. If we can create similarity, significance, and status, then we can create so much belonging that even when they've hit the result, they're going to want to keep paying and staying because they finally felt like they belong here. So get buy-in, change their behavior, and then work on creating belonging in the back end. That is all we have to do. So there's 9 pieces to this. This is the cult creator model. This is how you get that cult-like loyalty so that you can get paid every day doing what you love with the people you like. So if you want to join our mission to get paid every day, to create your mission so that you can rally the right people, then check the comments to get started, and let's get it.